You went to his face like this. Game on.
Yeah, it was. If you guys,
He's dead already.
you're like dying.
Selamat welcome ke podcast tak berlesen. Honestly, why I say like that because until now I still have not really determined kita nak main language apa. But we like kind of go with the flow lah kan.
Kita Malaysia lah, hujah sikit.
And that is the whole point of the podcast. It's meant to be casual.
Betul lah.
Kan? But today we have a guest here. Actually, this guest, he is in. So I did a poll kan that one time, and I asked like, okay, who would you want to see on podcast tak berlesen? And actually his name came up. Ada orang request.
Okay.
Nak borak dengan dia ni. Dia adalah orang yang paling berperisa.
Pedas ke tak? Aku takut dia perisa dia.
Pedas ke tak tu kita kena rasa dululah. Pedas ke tak dia tu.
We need to test our guest.
Yes, tapi kita rasanya dia yang akan rasa kepedasan dari kita hari ni. Because kita nak put him on the spot lah. So welcome Flava.
Hello. Baru seminit, I dah takut dah masuk podcast ni. I mean like, apa, taste the gases lah. No. What tasting?
The door is locked. Tak boleh lari.
And we have a bodyguard.
Alah, that guy je ke? I mean, I can lepas that guy. I'm very sure.
Really?
Okay, tak apa.
That's going to be apa segue content nanti wrestling. Yeah. But anyway, okay, so thank you for coming today. Glad to have you here. Obviously, we have interacted too much. At least in recent time.
Tak apa.
Okay, but But one thing that we have not really known. Okay, I think a lot of people maybe don't know lah. Right? What's the origin story of Flava?
Yang nama tu datang dari mana?
Dengan nama tu. Actually, kalau nak secara jujurnya, actually dulu my seniors lah, during my diploma days tu mengajak I main Dota 1. Kat Warcraft 3 lah, the Garena platform and all this. And of course everyone ada so-called in-game name, nama famous diorang kan. So back then I was just using my original name, Farouk. But then I wanted a glamour name. So I thought nama Flava is like cool. So it's not, tak adalah apa-apa symbolic sangat, but I thought it was a cool name. And then I just pakai lah. So it was just a name that I use in my zaman dekat asrama main Dota with my seniors. Itu je lah.
I mean, if you have a chance to make up a story untuk cakap, nama aku sebenarnya datang dari apa yang kau nak buat?
I think if I had a cool story behind it, I'm a man of many flavors. Yeah, so that would be the cool story behind it, because I think I bring a lot of different personalities when I do my work as a commentator, as a host. So I think that would be a cool story behind it lah. But macam yes lah, tapi bukan. Yeah, the lame story, the actual story is just a cool name which I thought of during back in the days, and I just pakai sampai hari ni.
I'll dig deeper lah kan. What is the childhood story of Flava?
Oh, childhood.
What's your childhood like?
How far back are we going?
You want to just see the light of the world, or?
I think childhood we'll see lah. I think kita start zaman like budak-budak sekolah rendah and all that. I think I was a very lurus kind of boy back then. I was very nerdy, and I think because of those kind of personality, where I'm lurus and very nerdy and really blur a bit, because I don't really have much friends. When I started off, because usually only with the family and all that, and my family usually tak bawa I pergi interact with kids. So I think I really didn't know how to go about with it. That's why I was kind of like a lonely boy, and I'm sure that I wasn't really one of those cool kids back then, because from sekolah rendah, sekolah menengah, sekolah like even during diploma, like I wasn't one of the cool kids. I kind of know it, because I was like on my own and all that. Of course, you do feel like I don't fit in. It's okay, we just go through life that way. And all that, and I was very introvert, because berkawan dengan orang biasa pun susah, and then what more to be more than that, as an extrovert. But then degree was so different, because degree, someone online suddenly macam sudden spurt, like I became like an extrovert. I started making a lot of friends. I started becoming more vocal, and I started, I wouldn't say leading some groups of people. I would say. For example, like in terms of clubs and societies and all this. And here we are today, definitely a different version of what I was when I was a kid lah, I would say.
Did you force yourself to be an extrovert, or did it just suddenly your frontal lobe develop and you're like, okay, I'm going to...
I think, I'm not even sure whether it's forced lah, I think because I would assume that because I never had the attention before, like I was like on my own. I mean like, even when I was a kid, it's not because I was sayang, because I think I was just having this life where it's just me and my mom and dad and my siblings, and then balik-balik is like between that and you should. So I live in a family where my mom and dad pun macam tak bagi I keluar lepak with friends and all that, and they will question it, buat masa lah to go all that. And
typical
of course,
Asian.
And as a kid I don't get jealous macam, ui, this kids dapat hang out, dapat duit tu melepak keluar, and they already dah pandai naik LRT buses to actually go and hang out on that. And then there's me who still live with my parents. It's not that, you know, I don't want to go out, but I can't because my parents are very strict on things and all that. So I think somewhere deep inside, personally, I wanted to just get out, you know, when I had the chance and all this. I think I became more like a rebel once I started being a diploma, because that was during the only time where I'm really on the outside, where I do the asrama.
You're free.
Freedom given. Yeah, I have to admit, I think I was that one kid that was given freedom dulu macam tersekat. Sekali dah dapat tu macam, okay, now I want more of it, and I want to do more stuff and all this. And yeah, given too much freedom also is not a good thing, because if I were to be very honest, during the start of the diploma tu, I was a 3-pointer CGPA, like 3.5, so I'm on a good track. So it was good. And then second sem, not really 3.5 but 3-pointer. So still good.
Okay, still good.
Yeah. The moment third and the rest too, it went bad, because I was addicted to gaming. Because I remember I told you about my seniors influenced me into playing Warcraft, right? But it wasn't their fault that I was addicted. They introduced me to it, but it is my own fault where I got addicted to it. I was playing games until 5-6 a.m. in the morning. I know it's 6 a.m. in the morning because sampai dengar azan subuh. So it's a bad thing lah. I mean, like, you know, it's a routine kind of thing. So at the start though, I was still okay, where I can still do my work and I play games. And there was a time where work is fully neglected and all this. And it's fully So diploma was kind of. I think diploma, like from sem 3 and forward, it was just really bad. Like from a 3.5 pointer student and then down, you know. And even until the end sample, it was, my CGPA was like 2.1 only. Like,
oh God.
Yeah, it averaged up to really bad. Degree, I had to start fresh, you know. I think like that's horrible. I mean, for diploma also, I wouldn't want to tell people that, oh, how did you finish at 2.1 CGPA? That's horrendous.
But you realised that waktu tu, or you just like, janji lepas?
It wasn't much about janji lepas. I think I was at a place where I couldn't crawl myself back out. It's not that simple, you know, when you're addicted and all this. It wasn't that simple. So you have a realization point. I'm very sure a lot of people out there ada realization, but can you really get out from it?
You in too deep, you can't crawl out.
Yeah, you're in too deep. So the realization has always been there. So okay, you have to like be honest. Tell yourself that you fucked up. You fucked up real bad. Yeah. Degree tu is more like, because it's a fresh start and I don't have to continue on with that bad drag from diploma tu kan, dengan sem 5 nya lah, dengan sem 6 nya and all that. Because it's a fresh start, it's easier. So, and I'm very lucky that the people who were in that course with me were all very how do I say this? Very nice people, and they're hardworking as well. There's some really smart kids. So what I did was I latched onto them. I became really good friends with them. Not because I wanted to like be friends with smart kids, but it so happens that the groupies that I'm with were smart kids. So I made sure that I follow their good habits, and I'm very grateful that I managed to complete my degree with second class honours. Yeah.
Ooh.
But speaking about the SEMs kan, we also like to think SEM 9 for ada this
that segue is
Event ni SEM 9 je lah.
Oh yeah.
Tak cakap.
You teleported here.
Yeah, so
sebenarnya green screen.
sebenarnya.
But how did you like approach like, dengan the smart kids, like, hey, can I hang out with you guys? Or how did that happen?
I think they were just friendly and everyone was it so happened that most of the people who were in that course were just smart kids to begin with, and we just became good friends. And it was very fortunate kind of thing lah. Not saying in the diploma pun tak ada smart kids. I think most of the students in my class were all smart kids. It's just that I was in a different world where, you know, I tried to disconnect from the world and go to gaming and all this. But when I was during my degree time, I still play games too. But this time there's a very good balance. I would say it's kinda like my own cheat code, where I make sure that during my uni studies, I am very, very close together with all my friends. I make sure that when they study, I study. And of course, you don't want to be too far away from them when it comes to performance. I don't think I can overtake them. You know, some people are just born smart.
Yep.
And so genetics plus hard work, even better results. So for me, genetically, tak adalah, I don't think I have that, but I think just have the hard work part. So I can just try to keep up with them. And for me, it's like I'm grateful that I'm able to actually, you know, end my studies on a good note, I would say.
Yeah, I've been to, like, you've been to college as well. Did you have that period of buying games sampai you forgot to sleep?
Ada. Yeah, ada. I don't know, is it like every gamer goes by that, but for me, my story was, so after SPM, so I masuk college, so I studied business IT, and there were two things that happened. One is Dota happened.
I feel like everyone is Dota. Mine is Dota as well.
Zaman tu ada league juga sikit-sikit.
No, mine was not. It's fully Dota. I to convert. After that, I convert to the league. I was Dota.
Oh, he betrayed us.
Yeah. So,
I can still beat you with Rubik's.
Wow. Okay, I mean,
What a statement, right?
okay, I'm bad at Rubik's, but anyway. So I had that year. So when I first started college, my first year was I actually studied business IT with the idea of, because my exposure to programming is that at 12 years old I already built my own website with HTML. Yeah, so that time, like, I built my own, and then by 13 years old, I created my own game using Microsoft Word. It's simple game, very simple.
Doesn't matter, you made a game.
But you had the idea of creating the game from there. So I thought to myself that time, when you were deciding on which course, like I thought, hey, you know what, I think I have this kind of bakat lah that time lah, in this
sounds like you found a genius, man. 12 years old.
I just wanted to say, remember we said the smart kids?
Yeah.
Here it is.
No big deal lah, no big deal.
No big deal.
For you.
For me, I was like,
But I was so dumb after that, right?
What do you mean?
Okay, the dumb part came after that. So
Okay.
Then I signed up for business IT, thinking that programming semua I can ace this like I did it before and all that. Tapi bila dah masuk, and then I found it really boring. So I studied C++ and we created programs using Visual Studio and all that. Yeah, IT student akan tahu lah semua benda ni back in the day, and they were here like, what? You did that? How old are you? Yes, I'm that old. So I found that actually I don't like it. As a proper study and as a proper structure punya ni. Why? Because it's so linear. It's so like, in programming, it goes so linear that you wrong spelling the code, it won't work. They will throw out as what we call syntax error, or even huruf besar, huruf kecil, depending on the language. By the way, I know computer science student don't judge me. Pun boleh like make the thing don't work. So like you can have like 1 million lines of codes, but if that one spelling error or one
semicolon
salah, you know, sometimes like you do a dot and then satu dot and like the comma, that one salah pun it can make the whole thing rosak. So to me, when you jawab exam that time back in the day lah kan, is that you have to write it out on paper. And if you do it on PC, you can type it out and then you can do a test, so you know whether it works or not.
Yes, correct. You write, it will tell you that tak lepas.
Exactly, you write that tak boleh kan, and then you don't know whether you're, so to me it's like to me lah, my mindset at the time is like, it's about hafal and you cannot salah like that one single dot pun. So I didn't really enjoy that terlalu linear punya thought process. So that's one. Number two is that Dota came in live, and then I had the exact same moment of like, main sampai subuh and all that. And then back then, my parents weren't that controlling. My parents were the type of that, you learn life as it is kan. So I hung out with people who stayed up late juga, like as in like keluar, right? As in like pergi, whether it's lepak mama, lepak taman until like God knows what time, and all those kind of people, and then all that just crashed my whole academic life lah. So at some point after 2 semesters studying that, I just dropped out.
Oh.
So I was the first year dropout. And then I spent probably like a quarter of the year macam just playing Dota je sampai subuh every single day.
I like how this word sampai subuh is gonna be
Yeah.
People will understand, like, this is Malaysia, they know subuh is like 6 a.m. in the morning.
Until like 6 a.m. just for international audience, until like 6 a.m. or whatever, and then that has been the routine life. Until one day parents come knocking into the door and says, you gotta do something with your life, okay? Yeah, so get back to study. That's the most simple thing you can do lah, kan? As a maybe, how old was I then? Maybe 18, 19 maybe? Yeah, thereabouts lah. It's like, okay mom. So I went back and then I continued on lah, and then habis lah from there. Yeah. So I also had my dark moments with gaming juga, so I totally understand that.
Yeah, I also have some dark side as well because I was going to this college. I don't want to say the name because they fucked up something major. So I go to that college for computer science. So that's why I understand.
Yes.
Yeah, so I go to computer science for half a semester. Then they call me and a few of my friends into a meeting room with the counselor, and they say, we fucked up. Actually, you cannot join computer science with your qualification. So we need to change class in the middle of SEM to graphic design. All 6 of us need to do that. Okay. So after that, I lost passion lah because I love computer science. I love coding. Like coding is one of the things that I wanted to learn. But then I need to go to graphic design, which is Photoshop, like all this and that, and I didn't like love it lah anymore. So after like 2 sems,
that's messed up, man. Like halfway, like
that's why I don't want to say the place name at
see.
all. But I got addicted to Dota and also Toho.
I see. Oh,
It was Toho 12.3 is a bullet hell ice team game that I played.
This is like so old school.
Yeah, there's far too much I played that game. There was no Steam back then, so I have no idea how many hours I clocked in, but I would say I got into the final boss, which is the UFO. I don't think you guys will know. I will put a footage up for you to see, but it's a bullet hell. So that's the game that I got addicted to lah.
But just not to make things sound doom and gloom like kind about the whole gaming thing like so in reality, addiction is a thing.
It is.
Reality addiction is the thing. Even now when I teach pun, like my students sometimes bila the time not to hold or not to access games, they access games juga. So it is still a thing till now. Tapi at least for my personal story, if my parents didn't give me the liberty untuk explore stuff, like I wouldn't have explored games and turn it into a career today lah. So but you need to find that right balance lah.
I actually
that's the
agree.
whole point.
But I think it's too good. If you have too much, also become bad lah.
I agree.
Everything in balance is the best. Like what's the apa tu the hero yang api tu dalam Dota? What's the name again?
Api tu? What? Ember Spirit. The hero.
Ember Spirit.
Ember Spirit?
Ember Spirit.
Oh, balance in all things.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, it's the quote for me.
Yeah, I was like, why the why?
You're playing like a trivia game for Dota.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's Dota guys, so I can just shoot
Exactly.
Yeah.
But for me, I think I'm glad I went through some bad things in life. Like I realized that now I'm not alone in this. There's a lot of other people who actually go through these kind of things.
Yeah.
So when I give talks on esports, gaming, and all this, when people do share about things, about what they go through and all this, I can safely say that yes, I do understand what you're going through. Or when I give talks, at least when people say, oh Mamat ni mesti mak ayah dia bagi dia main gitu pasal dia kerja dalam esports mana ni, mesti dia budak senang lah I would say. Mesti dia budak senang, mak ayah dia support apa dia buat and all that. And I don't think that's the case. I think I had a horrible past. Alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful that things went well, that I was able to recover for my degree. Tetapi don't say that it wasn't easy. I don't say that it was easy because because as you know, my parents didn't change at any point and suddenly it's like, oh, you can do gaming. No. Even during my degree, since I did esports, I curi-curi keluar rumah to not to melepak and all that, but curi-curi keluar rumah because I have to do casting event and all this. So what I did was I buka. So my rumah is just one story.
Yeah.
So buka pintu tingkap bilik. Then my kasut, my bag, baju semua dah standby in the car. So all I have to do right now is buka pintu bilik, lompat with a slipper and then tutup. So my door cannot be locked lah. So I unlock my door. So if my parents were in, but I'm not there lah. So here's the thing: if my parents found out I'm not at home, and then they call me, but I'm already on the way. But if they stop me before I go, then I cannot go, you know, like.
Then what happens to the show?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why. I had to sneak out. But this is not like me sharing this, not saying that people who are listening into all this, you should do that. Don't do that. You know, love your parents. Not saying that I don't love parents that has to do that. But I just wanted to know that I did all this. I wasn't doing anything bad behind their backs. I'm doing something to earn. I want to get experience. What we're studying and all this. Yeah.
Okay, but I want to get into detail on that. I think a lot of people always ask this common question, like, how do you get into esports?
How I got into esports was in the year 2011. I was just a normal kid, just like everyone else. I play games. I have knowledge about the game, but I know that I wasn't amazing at the game. Meaning, I have knowledge of the game, but I wasn't able to execute. So I think my hand-eye coordination or my skills are not up to par compared to people. You know, some people they tengok game macam ayah kalau aku buat macam ni, tapi padahal rank lemah. Dia cakap macam ada power, tapi bila main tak power kan. Yeah, so I don't think I have a good self-realization that I don't have the ability to actually become a pro player. But I do have knowledge on the game, so I thought, why not I become a commentator? But there were no openings in becoming a commentator.
But how did you first had the thought macam become commentator? And why I ask this question like because back in the day, whenever we talk about commentary and we watch benda-benda macam TI ke whatever tournament lah kan, we always, at least for me, I'll figure that ni benda-benda Mak Saleh buat ni.
Malaysia tak ada.
Malaysia tak ada. Yeah, it won't reach Malaysia. Like, how do you have that thought?
I think that was the reason why I thought I can become a commentator, because to my knowledge, I don't see anyone else, any Asians actually doing commentaries other than the Mat Salehs themselves lah. Sama ada diorang dapat Eropah ke, dapat Australia ke. Back then kita tengok orang macam Tobiwan and all this. So I thought to myself that, maybe I can be one. Tapi there was no such thing as an opening. Nobody was promoting it in Surat Khabar. Nobody was promoting online. So what I did was, I don't have a car during that time. So what I did was I naik bus, I naik taxi. I met 3 event organizers, I would say.
Okay.
One was Orange Esports. Secondly, it was Sendi Mutiara Multimedia, which is SMM. And third is E-Club. So I don't have any expectation. I just go je. Tak apa nanti jumpa diorang and all this. We'll see how it goes. So I went to all their offices. So some of the offices are reachable by bus. Tak reachable tu naik taxi. There were times where I tak cukup duit. So the taxi tu memang die nak cukup ngam-ngam duit tu je. So I drop off and then pandai-pandai jalan kaki. And don't do that. Yeah, it's very dangerous, you know, especially when you're still a kid. And I'm very grateful that all 3 organizers actually gave me a job during that then. And they put a little bit of trust and say that, okay, let's give it a try and let's see how it goes. So I casted for the SMM Dota tournament. I casted for the E-Club's tournament, which was my also first international gig event, which was in Singapore.
It was Dota as well, right?
Yeah, it was Dota as well. Yeah, and I forgot the name of the event. And of course, for Orange, I casted some of their small tournaments dekat their own CC.
Yeah, CC Studio.
Which I had plenty of experience. Yeah, CC, siap. Yeah, and their expectation is that not just for me to cast, but also prepare the live stream, which I tak reti, but I like to do. I say, I reti, I boleh buat. But then bila I balik, macam mana nak OBS? Yeah, that was the time I nak OBS. Then I learn about overlays, and then screens, and then pergi kat cyber cafe, rupa-rupanya server reset overnight. So it means that you have to download the logos again and letak one by one. Like I'm very sure, I know you guys, Lin, especially you, I know that you know do graphic design, although you don't like it. But then but now you're considered an expert in it. You work together with Man and all this. So you know that an overlay is like one file, dah macam tu. But for me last time, I had like a folder where I had 12 benda tu macam susun logo Razer kat sini.
Per elemen dia letak.
Yeah, per elemen. Okay kat sini. Logo event kat sini. And then when I come the next day, kenapa hilang? Oh yeah, reset server. Yeah. So this is a noob level of doing how do we say this, live stream and overlay lah. But back in the days,
itu je.
No, I mean like I don't have that ability, therefore I kena buat macam tu lah.
I like how Flava punya story ni kan, is like, you know those typical people yang pergi interview.
Yeah.
And then, boleh buat tak? Boleh. Semua boleh. Masuk kerja.
I remember I had this conversation with Frank, like Frank Orange, right? He was here like say, he said, boleh ke? Boleh, I'll do it. Yeah, but he did ask whether I can do it lah. Of course I think boleh. I'm glad that I was able to execute it because like the night before the event, I baca Google how to do this and then the day tu I have to do it, you know. And I'm so glad that it worked out well and jadilah, you know, like.
Did you find out after that?
No. After that particular event, I was like, okay, I know what to do already.
Okay.
But do the same shit lah. Like I said, I didn't develop the ability to play around with Photoshop. I didn't even have a PC of my own, so I wasn't able to train myself to actually how to belajar on that. So for first few months to do that lah. Logo one by one. And you remember, you download logo from Google. It's not like they give you a key visual. They didn't give you a high-res logo or something like that. So when I download from internet, you have to look at the few options, see which one is the more sharpest, highest reso one. Macam tu lah.
Then you open the PNG and then you download. It's not a PNG.
Yes. That's also
Yes.
Ada white background.
It's not a PNG. You trick me. And then bila preview dia buat macam grey tu,
Yeah.
but then when you download it's not. Yeah, so I went through those stupid times lah. Yeah, I was one of those.
And you know what? Sekarang kantoi lah dia dah tahu. Dulu sebenarnya tak tahu.
How many years have you kept this secret?
So long, yeah. No, but of course, when it requires you to do it, like to show, right?
Yeah.
Then you have to do it since you said you can, right? So you just do it lah.
Okay, a lot of people might not remember in the new generation, but generasi kita ingat lah.
This is old podcast lah.
This is like a podcast orang lama. You should change the name of your podcast.
Podcast orang tua.
But you were the one and only person who have casted with Tobiwan. Were you?
Malaysian lah.
Malaysian. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the only one in the world.
The only one in Malaysia who has casted with Tobiwan. So how did you get to there, and what was the experience like?
So I think the cast with Tobiwan was for the event together with E-Club lah. So during that time, we were doing it was in Singapore. So it was an international event. So it was Tobiwan and Gods. So it was like so we had two world level commentators there and all this. So of course it was rotational, and I was very nervous lah. I mean, like for a guy who doesn't have professional training and who never actually casted with anyone higher than me, because back then I was just casting alone, just seorang je, and now you tell me I have to do it with someone else.
I think it was your first duo cast.
It was my first duo cast. Nobody has. Yeah, my first duo cast was with Tobiwan and God.
Yeah,
so
no pressure.
no pressure. Yeah.
Small stuff.
So I would say my experience with them was bila jumpa dorang, I was a bit worried sebab dorang punya slang Mak Saleh dorang power. So you can tell, oh my, dia sedap lah dengar macam real white people. Okay. It's not like my first encounter with them. It's just that bila saya tu macam okay, and then you get this one Asian guy, you know. Had concerns and all this, and I'm so glad that my first cast was actually with Gods first, because when I casted with Gods, I made a mistake because it was my first duo cast. I didn't know things like we have to separate that the team fights. He takes it and I take it and all this.
Color play.
So during the conversation before we start, then he asked things like, "So are you a color? What are you?" And I couldn't answer. So what is it? like my mind is like, I can bullshit my way lah.
So what do you wink it? What do you wink?
So I said I was an analyst. Yeah, and then he was doing play-by-play, and then he said like, are you? So, but he's also an analyst too.
Yeah.
So I said, would you mind doing play-by-play? Okay, I'll do the play-by-play and all this. Yeah. But during that time, I thought it was like a balanced thing because it was two people, right?
Yeah.
So I was trying to give him way to actually do some play-by-play, but then he was wondering why was I doing that, because we've already established this thing, right? So after that, because it was a best of three, it was match two, he told me lah. I was like, aren't you? I thought we already decided on this. So, I thought it was respectful. I wanted to give him way, but actually he was supposed to give me way to actually do the play-by-plays. So, okay, fine. But then when I jump to Tobiwan, at least I kind of know what I'm supposed to do. But the thing is, of course, with Tobiwan, he does play-by-play, and I do analyst. So during that time, it's like, wow. And then I know how big Tobiwan is, so it's like nervous. Honestly, it was kekok during the first cast too. I wasn't my usual self, and it was like it was just okay lah. I would say my performance compared to him, you can see it's like night and day lah. I was saying.
Is there any footages? I wish do you think
I
you
believe,
can find it?
I believe it's still available online as well. Yeah.
Okay, I will try to look for the footage. You may look so young.
Yeah, then we can insert somewhere here in the
Yeah,
podcast.
somewhere
just for
here.
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah. It was a great experience to actually be doing casting with them. But you know, I guess I didn't prepare myself for it. Like, you know, I don't think, you know, it feels so weird for a guy who, you know, you see yourself as a normal guy,
Yeah.
and then it's like them, you know, like them.
So what do you learn? What's your key learning from?
Yeah, I was a noob.
them?
Like main key learnings, I still needed to learn a lot more because it's very hard as an individual who doesn't receive any form of training during that time at the start, and you were just trying to wing it. Of course, when casting for things like Razer Invitational and the Orange, when I was casting under the SMM and all that, for the Malaysian crowd, when they heard me casting during that time, everybody was like, wow, so entertaining, everybody was enjoying it. Because for most of them, they have never actually heard commentaries happening before in an offline setting, especially in Malaysia. And then hearing it, so they were very much entertained. And so dulu was like, I was casting NCC, so I duduk dekat satu PC tu, and then there's people kerumun belakang I, and then there are people looking at it. So it's so nice to see someone who's shouting and cheering on to what's going on and all this, making some jokes on it. Yeah, but as time goes by, you see that you are required to actually be, you know, you have certain skills where you're professional in doing commentaries and all this stuff. Yeah, but for me, I started off rough because tak ada orang nak ajar. But now you see there's berlambak caster, so you can use a lot as a reference. You can actually get a little bit tips and tricks and all this.
You banyak kelas, aku tak ada kelas.
Oh, banyak kelas.
Yeah, class, yeah.
I honestly for me, Tobiwan is when I first started lah dulu lah kan. Even before we met, Tobiwan was my reference point.
Same.
Yeah, memang reference point. So after that, when I found out that he has done it with Tobiwan, it's like, oh, man, macam tu lah, that sort of thing. Like that is huge. So yeah, that must be a good one, right? But you transition. I wouldn't say transition. Like it's not a transition, but you expanded. your
Evolve.
skills. Yeah, you evolve. What's the Pokemon term for it?
Evolve lah.
Evolve.
Okay, betul.
There you go.
Digimon, Digivolution.
Okay, evolution. You evolution to doing hosting as well. So
Yeah.
how did it move to there?
Actually, all that while I've always been a host pun, sebab memang waktu my degree time, I do a little bit hosting dekat stage
uni punya.
Yeah, they gave me a chance, which reminds me what to diploma. I tried to become an MC, but then nobody gave me a chance. Yeah. There was dia macam ni lah during diploma. Yeah, remember the time when I was involved in all gaming and all that. I want to try something new, so I thought I wanted to let's do something else, main game kan. To become an MC. So I reached out to some clubs. Oh, kalau kau event boleh jadi kat MC. But I do know I do not have an experience. Yeah, and then of course diorang nak bagi kepada orang-orang yang diorang dah biasa juga. You know, usually they have somebody who's like, oh, we know this guy can do it. It's not that I don't blame them at all. It's just that I don't have any kind of proof that I can actually become an MC. So it's very risky to give this job. So for degree, I'm so grateful because at the start though, I was given the opportunity to actually MC some small gigs. So adalah script, you know, like a paper. Baca lah. I mean, like, don't go off track, just read it. And then slowly over time, you try to go off a little bit, be more impromptu and all that. That's when I developed that. That's why I developed this so-called extrovert behavior, I would say, because now I'm able to stand in front of a crowd. Tak adalah nervous anymore. I still get the butterflies, but still I'm able to actually perform these kind of things. But the only difference this time is I integrated together with esports. So because back then I was only hired as a caster, but now I was like, hey, why not I become a host for esports? You know.
So was that consciously by choice ke the opportunity just came?
By choice, I would say. Because no opportunity came, so I was like, so I re-engaged back the event organizers and tell them that I would like to explore if I can become a host. And during that time also, this time was actually in 2017, where there's a lot of casters already on the rise. So rather than me becoming a caster, why not I don't get into this competition of being a caster and then just begin to a host? Because for me, host, if I were to be honest lah, okay, becoming a host does not require me to actually have in-depth knowledge about a particular game. But you need a good enough amount of knowledge about the game for you to become a host for esports. So if you don't have in depth, then you're not able to actually become a really good caster. Yeah, but you can become a host on the surface level. So that if you're required to actually do interviews with players, you're able to actually ask all this good enough questions, I would say. For them to respond to, not just the usual, or how does it feel to win this match? Is that obviously, like, don't you have any critical questions for me about a particular moment within a game, in a PUBG Mobile, in the Dota 2, in the MLBB and more, you know? And it does not require me to study so many games, so I can host a lot of variety of esports game titles, I would say.
Yeah. So I got a quick question for that. Like, what is the most overused question other than the one that you say? This is like for everyone that's trying to host, but they are making their own questions. Like, oh, this is so overused. Give me like a few.
Oh, overuse. Okay.
Overuse,
I can imagine this. So how does it feel? How are you? Dah makan ke belum?
Oh my God, Malaysia. The Malaysia
dah makan
question.
ke belum is like, I hate it. It's like, come on. But the thing is, I don't mind if you use it once or twice. Sometimes you don't blame them, but don't use it every single interview. You know, it's like, come on, really tak ada soalan lain ke and all this. What is it? I guess more or less. That's it. Oh, usually what are your thoughts on your opponents?
Yeah,
the most common things I would say as a host lah. Say what are your thoughts on opponents, but they're not trying to be specific as well. If
general.
Exactly. If possible, also I don't blame the questions, but if you're able to actually make it specific, it will show to the viewers and also to the organizers and your talent team as well, which are the casters themselves, to show that you do care about the game to a certain extent, where you do. Even though we know that you don't have in-depth knowledge about the game, but you do a little bit research. So for me, remember, I'm not blessed with. I don't think I'm blessed with creativity. I don't think I'm blessed with, being super smart and all this. But because I lack in these areas, it requires me to be a bit try hard on this. Meaning that I have to sit down and watch the PUBG Mobile game a little bit more for me to crunch up better questions look at MLBB and all this. I have to try hard a little bit lah. So that compared to other hosts, I would assume that some of them are so pro, tak payah tengok game pun tak apa. They're able to actually generate some really good questions. But for me, I'm different than them. I know that I have weakness in these areas, so therefore I have to put a little bit effort. So I'm at a really good professional level, a really good level.
Yeah, but as sometimes as a caster lah kan, sometimes when we see the gameplay, lepas tu ada that certain move, whether it's good, whether it's bad lah kan. It deep down inside, because normally if in a full setting you have host and all that, the host will do the interviews lah kan.
Betul.
And sometimes when we talk at the casters, we're like, why did he do that? Okay, we would like to hear it from them. Hopefully the host is
asking the question.
Ask that specific question.
So I agree with you that as a host, if you have the depth enough knowledge, you know what to ask. You know, like, oh, that moment is big, or that moment is a blunder.
You want to pick on that moment because kesian lah. Like kesian for the casters. Like, if they had the opportunity, they would have asked the players, but they cannot because only the host can do it. So.
You know, how do we fix that? Is there a way for us to fix that? Like, for example, here's a question from, like, the host will get one question from the caster, or how do we convey?
I think that one, usually the production will sort that out.
Right.
Okay, here's the thing. I don't want to name the name of the event, but there was a few instances where Cloud and his partner would thought that I actually hear what they are conversing before they pass it over to me. So for example, they'll say things like, so we're going to be passing it over to Flava back at the main stage. Yeah, but actually before they said that, they were actually say, we hope that probably Flava can actually ask us a question in regards to this. And then after the event concluded, I say, Flava, actually, did you even hear what we said? I was like, no, actually, I have no clue. I don't have feedback from what the casters were saying. So, no wonder. There were a few times we were trying to say, how I wish Flava would actually ask this. And then he just asked something else. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, no wonder. But usually, in this kind of things, how would I say this? Usually productions would connect the host to the casters, so that the conversation is like a continuity. So you will pick up on the last few things that the casters mentioned, able to write on it as well.
That's the best way for it to like give your questions.
One thing I think that also helped your speech presentation, all that guy. You were part of the debate team.
Yes.
Last time, and Syed Saddiq was also part of your team.
No, he wasn't part of my team, but he was one of our rivals.
Your rival? Oh, he was your rival.
Yeah, he's a rival.
Right.
He was a rival uni lah. But basically,
So you went up against him lah.
Yeah, I went up against him.
Like you went to his face like this lah. Right. Like he wasn't YB that time, right? So it's like, so he's like pretty much like.
We're still talking about debate, right, Lin?
So
Oh,
tell
man.
us about a little bit about that lah, kan? Like,
Debate ni, like I said, I wasn't blessed, right? So I thought I joined debate. So I thought it was kind of cool, you know, like join debate. But then I was still an introvert during that time. So that was my time when I was trying to go out of my comfort zone and all this. So when I joined debate, masa-masa debate competition je, you meet with other unis and all that.
Yeah.
Then you realise, man, I don't belong. Why I say this is because some of them cakap, oh, level Oxford. Dia punya English je.
as in like accent Oxford or
Ada
the vocabulary Oxford?
The way you speak.
Dua-dua. So it's like some, you know, some high level words. So damn, aku pun. I've heard of that in the dictionary, but I never use it in my normal speech. You know. And then Chaco speaking macam yeah. So remember the cool kids level sekolah. These are cool kids level university yang not just cool kids level these are cool kids yang smart plus fluent, and then the other groupies semua cakap that high level, and then there's you like, let's not speak anything. like you know which group you don't belong to in the debate group, but everyone is friendly. Everyone is friendly, but of course as a normal individual you just feel like you don't belong, you know. So and when I say everyone's friendly, you know, during the debate rest time, before we start, everybody's like, hey, where you from? Oh, so nice. When the debate begins, I got scared because let's say for example, we're friends, right?
Yeah.
Bila masuk bilik debate tu, tiba-tiba you turn on like your attack mode and you're like, whoa, calm down. Like you attack me as if we have never met before, and then go attack ku like the points and everything like that. I was like, I thought we were friends.
I'm imagining like you say, okay, start. Semua mata merah.
Game on.
Yeah, it was that. There was no more smiles. Everybody put on their game faces on, and then after, like okay, a debate competition, it felt so long, you know, like it could be 45 minutes, an hour or so in that room.
So long.
Yeah, and then when you got shit on by your opponent, you're like, shit, fuck it. And you're a newbie, and then they pick up points, and then they use like, okay, there's a difference between debate level low versus level high. Yeah?
Okay.
Level low, you present all your points and all this, biasa-biasa je, and then examples like diorang with reference to this particular article, and then remember when Barack Obama was mentioning all this, with reference to this particular incident that happened before in the past World War and all this. So I don't have this data, and then like based on listening to how fluent they are, then I believe, even if you lie, I believed you, you know, whatever it is, because it sounds so convincing. So when you baru start tu, you macam, okay, yep. Okay, I know I lost, you know they're gonna make an announcement who lost and won, right? And then, so after debate ends, you have to go out, you give way to the judges to decide. Oh, come on, you don't need to. You don't have to make it look like it's a very hard decision, okay? Yeah. And I said, oh, yeah, so the winner is, yeah, I know. Like, I know.
Like slow clap.
Yes, yeah. No, you have to clap hard because you don't even
Sportsmanship lah,
Sportsmanship
Pakai
thing like
topi dia.
that.
I'm so happy for you.
And they won, like they literally trash like me and my team, and then ada feedback moment pula. Okay, feedback, what happened and all that. And then these people dah lah menang besar, lepas tu still nak feedback juga. Oh, what were we lacking? What do you mean? What, you don't have enough ammunition to take me down, is it? Okay, yeah. And then, you know, you get feedback and all this. So it's very tough lah. I think like Syed Saddiq is a little bit different because he's one of the top debaters, I would say. During the start too, we were still on the same level when we debate, but at one point he went off because he was part of the UIA team and he's also part of the elite teams. Back then I was under UiTM. So under UiTM, I'm just a cawangan kecil. So I was in Segamat. So Segamat Johor. Yeah, so I would say it's a cawangan kecil, it's a small branch, and the main team is usually from Shah Alam. So Shah Alam team, the training is like intense and all this. So we usually enter the small tournaments. But when it comes to the regional, international, world level tournaments, then you'll see people like Syed Saddiq and all this joining, I would say, together with his team, which are very familiar faces. Every time you see these faces, I know this is Syed Saddiq team.
How was it like going up against him?
Awal-awal tu okay, just after a while when he becomes a pro, I couldn't catch up.
So he was one of those who trashed you and then still ask for feedback, lah.
Yeah, luckily during
That's what you were trying to say, right?
when he became a pro, then maybe I went up against him like once or twice only. You know, not as frequent as other people. Because once you reach a certain level, you join very high level tournaments where you only go up against high level teams. So during that time, Street KDU was one of the top ones. Yeah, UiTM and UIA has always been rivals together with Street KDU and all this. Yeah, to go to Worlds, and slot for Worlds and all this kind of things. Yeah. Syed Saddiq has always been, usually his partners would swap, usually like it's a team, it's either it's a team of 3 or team of 2, so the partners will swap, but you see all these familiar faces going on. But the integration, like to your question, like how it integrates that into applying it to here, I don't think it applies, but it did, debate build up my confidence to be on stage. So my thinking is like this, if I can face against those monsters, I call them monsters, okay? These guys are like insane, man. Like being on stage here, I'm not required to fight anyone. I just speak alone.
Yeah.
But there, you know, I had to fight some crazy ass people and listen to them shit on you for 7 minutes per person. Yeah, so that's a scary moment, lah. So if you guys,
He's dead already.
you're like dying, but they don't let you die. You know, like you need, they will revive you back and keep killing you. It's like.
Okay, that's something. They just want a debate, I guess. I've never been to a debate, but my sister that was UiTM Shah Alam always went. That's why I know a bit of the rules.
I see.
She was like, I cannot go out this weekend. They have a debate tournament going on.
Yeah. So, but the serious teams, yeah, I mean, their training is intense lah. You datang lambat pun kena marah and all that.
They got debated.
Yeah, exactly.
1v3.
I can imagine the bebelan lah from the coach.
Oh yeah, the coach is insane. So UIA has like a very strong coach. UiTM has a very strong coach. Street KDU during that time has a very strong coach and all this. Yeah, and you'll be surprised Malaysia has a very strong debate scene, I would say. Yeah.
How strong is strong?
Basically, like our aim has always been to go to Worlds, then fight with Harvard, fight with Oxford, actual Harvard, actual Oxford. The fight with NUS, National University of Singapore, and all this.
So they don't see Southeast Asia, they don't see Asia, they just go for Worlds. So
know.
that's how big, oh my god.
But now I'm curious, like, has there been a debate topic about which chicken rice is better versus NUS?
No.
Yeah, what's the topic usually?
There's low-level topics. Low-level topic is like, oh, this house would allow euthanasia to be used, or this house will say gaming promotes violence. Those are low-level topics. High-level topics are something in the now, something that's currently going on, and when it comes to politics, something like that, where you pick up sides. We talk about topics like economics. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean now, like I said, during the early stages, there are things where I don't even know what's going on around the world. Like you want me to debate on this topic? So of course kau mati lah, you fight against these people. But after a while, it does require you to go out and go study these kind of things. So it depends on your coaches. Your coaches say, oh, these are reading materials. You need to know what's going on right now in the world. Yeah, Donald Trump lah, Barack Obama, everything like that.
Do you know the topics beforehand?
No.
So dekat situ duduk, pam, topic.
Yeah, so everyone is in the hall. So
so you don't know the topic?
No, of course not. So everyone is in,
Then,
so
what if you kena the high level, like, oh, okay, economics in Maldives?
How many hours?
Yes.
Okay, I have so many
Then you're like,
questions.
GG.
So in normal tournaments, it's 15-minute prep.
15 minutes.
Lima
just to,
belas.
like,
Okay, low
search
level
everything.
preps are 30 minutes. So dulu macam my level dulu yang kecil-kecil tu, 30 minutes. So you give 30 minutes to prep lah. So you with your partners 30 minutes. But for high level events, so for example, right, when you go to Worlds, right, jalan kaki to your room, you nak debate tu alone is already 10 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so sambil berjalan you kena talk lah, that's okay.
But sambil jalan tu, you don't know the topic yet, right?
No. You dah tahu. So dia macam ni okay, everybody at the hall.
Okay.
Everybody just waiting kan, ada the big screen kan.
Yeah.
Like a projector. Okay guys, the topic is, the moment the topic is revealed, timer starts already, okay? And the topic is economics. This house believes that national nuclear fuel will not be allowed to actually be utilized for the purpose of whatever.
Oh my god.
Okay, so the question is, what if you don't know what the topic is?
Yeah.
Okay, so the judges are called adjudicators. So the adjudicators, you may approach the adjudicators and ask them what does it mean. So they can tell you, oh, the topic actually is talking about this recent issue about in between this, but not to the extent where they give you the points on how to win the argument.
Win the argument,
But they will tell you what the topic is about, so you have a general idea about it.
My God, that sounds intense.
Yeah, very intense. Yeah.
Why is this not have like a documentary or whatnot? This sounds like a show that I want to watch.
I'm sure there is.
You should try to actually try to watch it. High level debate tournament. There's a lot. It happens every year for the world and all this. We also have and you'll be surprised. Even people who are in university level also do this kind of debates because and some even in secondary and primary school as well debate those topics.
The same topics.
Yeah, the same topics.
Wow. Because on Singapore, they have a TV show for debaters for high schoolers. I always watched that when I was a kid. I don't know now if they have the show or not. But yeah, that's the only exposure I have for debating, and this is a whole different ballpark.
Yeah, and even primary kids also debate on this thing because when you go to Worlds, you are required to. I'm not asking you that you're required to know everything, but they're able to understand the topic and able to present it in a certain level. But I would say the higher, the older, also the higher level of the competition, the better the points, the examples, and the way that it's being presented to the judges.
Yeah, the comprehension of the topic.
Comprehension of the topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the most intense topic that you have debated?
I think it's mainly on economics, I would say, because in that topic I'm a little bit weak on it. So and it was trying to talk about new energy. New energy, and during that time it was like a very hot topic. People were talking about new energy, what will replace fuel and all this. So you have to choose which energy that you want to utilize as your point, and how is it better than the current energy that is being utilized.
Okay, right now, think what is the best energy to replace fuel?
Nuclear. Actually, nuclear is the safest one.
Nuclear is the safest one. Is that correct?
But then it's called nuclear, so like.
Okay, when you say solar, we need battery need cobalt, we need to farm with Africans that get pennies from cobalt, which is what happening right now with Tesla.
Yes, so I mean that's the thing. You don't ask me like what's the right answer. Debate is all about convincing the judges on that you have the best points, best arguments from your end.
I think it's blah 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 blah. So you go.
Yeah. It's not so much about having the right answer. It's about convincing the judge.
Here's what I remember one person say: a good debater is can convince you that orange is blue.
Yes, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Very good way.
I read a lot of
But
books.
wouldn't judges have their own biasness to the topic?
They shouldn't be biased. That's why the judges.
Yeah, at the back of their mind, I already got the answer at the back of my mind.
The judges
So whatever
are so
you
important.
say is that if you don't say that answer, then it's the wrong answer.
So the judges also cannot be biased. This kind of thing. That's why they do lay out that what he or she said, what he and she said, how did he or she counter him, and what is his own and point and all this. So if you're first, you only present your points. You don't get to attack anyone. But the one next to you will have to keep attacking continuously attack.
That's the meta way.
Yeah, there's attack, there's defend. Of course, when your friend got shit on, you need to defend your friend. Since we all have teammates, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So since your turn has passed, you cannot defend yourself. So you need to reply so you go look with a sad face to your teammate and like, help me. And they're like, yeah, please defend me. My points are good. Yeah. So you shit on the enemy, and then you protect your friends. That's how it works. And then the judge will decide on which side are they more convinced on. Yeah. And if possible, you're not supposed to be biased, because if you make a wrong decision after the announcement of the winner, and after after also the judges explain why he or she won, this team won, the participants also have a feedback form on whether or not was the decision, do you agree with the decision?
Oh.
And how would you rate the judge? Yeah. You also rate the judge. So if there are any complaints on the judges would they will get this. So basically, the head educator will receive these complaints and put the judge in a lower room, meaning a lower performing room.
God, you know what? This should be in every sport, including esports. Like we always have, like football. Oh, this should be offside. This is not. I give feedback to the referee.
You give feedback. Yeah, but you don't give this feedback to you go back to the hall and you pass it over to the adjudicators.
So nobody else can see. It's just
Correct.
between
Yes,
them
yes,
and
yes.
them.
But the educators can tell. The judges can tell when they drop a room, because usually if they judge high-level rooms, and remember the judges, you need to have a minimum of 3. So you have 3 judges. You want 1 head judge
Yep.
and 2 assistant judge. So if you're a head judge in the previous round, you drop down. It's either the room has a better judge than you, or you got demoted.
Man, this is I would
Even the
love to
judges
know.
also are being evaluated as well by the debaters themselves.
This is all news for
So
me.
if you lose, you pay back time. The judge bias.
Yes.
The judge. Yeah.
Also, you have to write carefully, like why do you feel that decision? All
Yeah,
this,
all have. It's not like emotion based.
And remember, even the ones that win
Yeah.
can also say bad things about the judge. They can also report on the judge. For example, like the judge doesn't know what he or she is talking about. Like they gave us the win correct because we were deserving winners. But at the same time as well, the reasoning that was being given was stupid.
Speaking about debate and judges, so the Malaysia Esports Award is coming up.
Yes.
Right, and you're the head judge, so you're in the right room right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let me remind you that the door is locked.
Yeah, the door is locked.
I picked the wrong show to come.
Okay. So tell us about like how this idea came about first, and why now?
I see. Actually, this idea came about for quite a while. I think I believe that this was back in 2019. So I thought that I think it'd be great that we actually have an award event where we recognize great individuals, great teams, organizations for their efforts in the year. I understand when it comes to competition, people datang tournament, main tournament, dah menang tournament, balik. Oh menang, congrats and all this. But collectively for the year, it'll be great if we can actually identify who are these amazing, like the best of the best out of everyone, across the whole year. So you have to be consistent in terms of performance, not just a one-time off, sekali menang and then that's it. So that's the idea of it. But your question was why now? Why wasn't it before and all this? Initially, waktu awal 2019 memang kita nak buat. Cuma waktu tu when we tried to approach the ministry mentioned that they actually wanted to actually do one back in during that time, because I believe that during that time was when they introduced the so-called esports blueprint. And part of the esports blueprint is that they did wanted to do an award event. But after a while, after COVID period and all this and all that, we still don't see it happening. Of course, we tried to approach the ministry and see that is it possible if we do it, because we don't see that you guys are doing it. Then it was mentioned but the thing is, it's a little bit tricky because the ministry had every intention to actually do one, but unfortunately because esports is now an official sports under Pusuruja Esukan, PJS, meaning that now the esports awards all park under the National Sports Awards. So if esports wants to win any award under the ministry, you go lah fight under the actual sports awards, where when they have a talent award, ada kat dalam tu. When they have an athlete award, semua dalam tu. So you have to go up against all the other sports, from football, basketball, table tennis, bowling, semua tu lah. So if you come out on top, great. So but you can't. But it's not that simple for the ministry to just do one specifically for esports. Sebab I think I would understand. I mean, the ministry didn't exactly elaborate much on this, but it will be unfair to the other sports as well, because the ministry buat satu untuk semua sukan, tiba-tiba buat untuk esports kan. So I would think that if the ministry were to do that, also it will be under fire, because then the other sports will also question. If I was football, I think you buat untuk esports special, kenapa tak buat untuk football? Football pun besar juga.
Khas untuk football.
Khas untuk football and all this, although the government didn't say anything about it, but we really understand why they wouldn't, because then it would look as if the government is also like picking a side on this. So it's okay. So it's like if the government doesn't want to do one, why not we do a privatized one, but supported by the ministry. So hence that is why it's happening now rather than before. I guess.
How do you determine the categories in the first place? Because there are some feedback as well, like from the community we can see some of them asking, so why are certain categories not in there? So how do you determine it first?
Okay. I think because this is the first, we also have a limit to what we can do. So as a start, we decided to actually do this 16 categories first, because we also tak nak belagak macam kita boleh buat macam-macam on our first try. Sebab nanti kalau buat banyak-banyak nanti tak menjadi macam mana. So I do understand the feedback coming out from community, because at the current moment Contoh kalau untuk game specific, I would say game category specific, kita ada Battle Royale, kita ada MOBA, FPS, kita ada racing, kita ada sports and fighting game. These game categories are not being divided according to platform, meaning that it comprises of all PC,
MOBA, PC,
PC, console together with mobile. So meaning that for MOBA, you can compete between games like Dota 2, League of Legends, Arena of Valor, Pokemon Unite, League of Legends together with League of Legends Wild Rift and more. So this category is going to be quite competitive. But like I said, as a start, unfortunately, we run it small first with these categories, and we do hope that in the next series we're able to slowly expand. Now, also to address the other question that Cloud mentioned is how to identify these as the first few categories to be introduced is also by our ability to actually outline how each awards are being evaluated. We cannot expand the awards until we identify how to evaluate the upcoming awards for the next series and all this. I know a lot of people will request to kenapa tak ada esports event organizer of the year? Kenapa tak ada separation between mobile and MOBA and all this? We will do those kind of things, tapi ambil masa sedikit sebab kita pun ada kekangan dari segi masa untuk siri ni. Kita juga ada kekangan dari segi juri juga, sebab kadang-kadang juri ni bukanlah satu perkara yang mudah, so take a little bit time as well. And also the evaluation part, sebab kita mungkin nak fikir macam mana kita nak menilai setiap anugerah ini dengan cara yang I would say yang terbaik dan boleh diterima oleh semua orang. Itu sebab before kita buat semua ni, kita ada sit down together with judges, kita present kat diorang to terima dia punya feedback sama ada okey tak kalau kita menilai dengan cara seperti ini. Bukan benda yang mudah, sebab esports ni kalau seperti yang kita tahu, esports ni pun different from mana ada, game title pun berbeza. It's not like one sport. Kalau one sport simple, if it's football, cara penilaian dia is based on this because it's a one sport thing. But esports ni, because there's so many things to be mindful of, then we have to be really careful on some things.
But speaking about like the penilaian kan, so how do you nilai fairly? Let's say if the game is the team ke or the player ke whoever kan is related to a game that is not as active as another game. Sebab yelah, and it's not their fault. Like whenever there's an activity they do well, tapi the activities tu tak sebanyak as game B, whichever the game is. How do you find the balance?
In this kind of cases, I don't think we as a penilai, right, we're able to actually find a balance for them. We would say that it is quite unfortunate that some game titles, I don't want to mention titles, it's best if I don't mention that, but we all know that there are some titles which has less activations, less tournaments compared to others. And there are some tu memang tournament tu setiap minggu ada, you know, and you're placed in a category together with that particular title, so you feel the unfairness. You would say that I'm really good at this game, but because of the amount of activities is lacking, I'm not able to show that I'm a much better individual or team compared to the other one because of the frequency of tournaments and all this. Now it's very good that this is being outlined, is because this is actually one of the hidden objectives of what the organizers would like to achieve, which is to let the game publishers, to let this event organizer, third-party event organizers, to know that there is a need for more activations for these games within not just in Malaysia but also on a regional, on an international level, and world level. Because if you don't up your game, then there's no way for people or your users or your fans or athletes under your game would be able to actually receive such an award or be given much attention, because you're not even doing much for the people anyways. So there's no way that these people can actually win. So probably it does need a little bit more care, so these people actually able to actually bring ke atas lah, I would say. But for game publishers who have been proactive in actually doing these initiatives, this is beneficial for them as individuals, teams and organizations under their game title, diangkat sebagai nominees and shortlists, and potentially could win. You know, so it benefits those who work hard in activating. But then for those game publishers and all that, you would see your own athletes, your own fans, users, menjunam lah, and
Yeah.
not getting the care they need. Since you don't care for them, this is what happens to them. I would say, yeah. But we're not trying to force this on the game publishers, but at least they open their eyes, and even the community can say this. It's like there's no way that our game can win sebab game sebelah ni,
Yeah.
game sebelah ni, all that. And this doesn't just apply to one category. It applies across all categories. Because it's never a balance. Okay, there's one category I can say in particular. Contohnya fighting games. So fighting games, there's
the breakdown lagi dahsyat.
yeah, like Tekken 7. We talk about the two top ones, right? Tekken 7 and Street Fighter 5. I know that now we're going into the Street Fighter 6,
yeah.
and then Tekken 8 and all this. But even these two, even though they're top, it's never balanced. There's bound to be one that has more than the other. Yeah, and it's never a balance, I would say. Yeah, so that's why I say we're trying to, one of our hidden objectives is trying to encourage game publishers to actually do more for their fans, do more for these people, so that one day they're able to actually be appreciated for these awards in respective countries. Yeah.
I'll go a bit deeper lah kan pula. Okay. Okay, so that is like from activation side.
Correct.
Kan? But how about like, how do you find the balance kind of skill set side? So maybe game A, this is debatable lah kan, alright? But maybe game A may feel that, oh, my game is harder to play than your game. Like, then how do you find the balance of the level of difficulty needed to achieve something in game A? So for example lah kan, game A is a harder game, okay, tapi dia dapat like tempat kedua or ketiga, like second or third place in whatever his tournament. And then game B is a easier game, but he gets like number 1. So how do you strike this balance also? Is there a consideration?
Yeah, I'll add even more to that also. It's not just about skills, but sometimes also because of like in this game we know that there's bound to be a prodigy player and all that. Like we cannot win first place in this game. There's bound to be, and there's a lot of professional organizations that invest into that particular game. Compared to the game tu macam senang je maksudnya. I can get a top 4 in this game. If I give like half-ass effort pun ada boleh dekat ni. But compared to other game macam susah. Tengok Tini semua professional organisation semua ada dalam ni. How can all this? Yes, there's an imbalance when it comes to these kind of things. And these kind of things, when we talk about the game, right? We do understand that different game requires different applications to it. Some requires more buttons to be utilized. Some requires you to do less pun dah boleh buat macam-macam and all this, programmable and all this kind of stuff. Unfortunately, for an organizer standpoint, we're not able to actually change these kind of things. But what we can say is that they are competing in that game title. They know what they're they know what they're up for. Yeah, and you have the freedom to jump anywhere to anywhere you want. Anyways, if you do see it's easier on that side, why not you jump to that side? Anyways, there must be a particular reason that's stopping you from actually do so. It's either one end actually gives you more money, one end gives you lesser money, and much more. And money is also a very big factor, I would say. Yeah, because it also decides on where professional organizations would like to invest in.
Yeah.
Because there's not much in it, there's no reason for people to actually continue or even jump into it, right? So yeah, it's easier there, but lacking in terms of money part. So that's why when it comes to evaluating the performance of the players, these individuals, teams and organization, it's not just about the level of the tournament, but we also evaluate based on the amount of prize pool that's being offered as well. Because for example, right, a tournament that has a higher prize pool would definitely attract the bigger teams compared to the ones that actually offer a lower prize pool. So we separate it by tier. That way, we know that we credit event that has bigger prize pools compared to those who has lower prize pools, even though they are of the same prestige. You can do a world level event with 1,000 ringgit. If you think about it, you can do a world level event with 1,000 ringgit. You invite everyone and all this. Yeah, but if you were to compare that versus a world level event that offers $1 million US dollars, yeah, all the players from that 1,000 would definitely run away. But there's no reason for them to even compete there. Like you can win a world title, but the prize pool is like Yeah, so I was like, there's nothing in it for them anyway. So you must credit the other one. Yeah. And then also for events that don't really have prize pools, for example, like events like Global Esports Games, the Commonwealth Exhibition Match, CEC, which offers medals. There are also ways for us to determine how many, how we place these achievements, I would say, because it's a little bit tricky. For example, like Global Esports Games, although it offers a medal for the nation because country representation, but we also do know that there are professional players who refrain from participating in these competitions because it does not offer prize money. Therefore, certain countries have difficulties trying to gather their top athletes, where the top athletes are not interested as there's no money involved. Second, it's not even an official sports event, but it does give medal. Yeah, it's not even an official sports event.
I thought it's still like considered an official.
No, I mean like it's an official tournament where country representation is there, but it's not the Masha level events like SEA Games, ASEAN Games,
that was
and more.
different.
Yeah, which holds a much higher value compared to that.
Yeah, even like in Asian Games also, there are some games that ada conflict dengan publisher punya tournaments. Yeah.
Oh.
So because of that juga, like some players are not available.
Agree.
And then you have like the conflict of for that player like individually, like I want to represent my country, but at the same time the qualifiers to one of the biggest prize pool in the world is happening. So they become like that, and
there's money on that end.
Yeah.
That's
But
pride.
That's right. And then all this backlash about people, you are not sacrificing for the country, you choose money over this kind of thing. And so we do understand this kind of things, and all this we put into consideration. We have a good pool of judges who actively have discussions on this to ensure that we're able to evaluate all these nominees in a proper manner. Yeah.
But I think the judges have been doing an amazing job.
We know the judges.
We know
most of the judges kita kenal lah.
I think I know. Yeah, I know all of.
know all of them.
Yeah, at least interacted with all of them lah.
Yeah.
But why I say that the judges are doing an amazing job is not because of me lah kan. It's because based on the feedback from the. Janganlah sebut kau kuat. But based on the feedback from the community, putting aside the category lah kan, so far there has not been a backlash or a debate saying that that person shouldn't be there. Kan, so far I think
Everyone agree, like
everyone agree with the discourse like okay cool, these people should be in their respective categories. So what is the thought process behind like the very early stage of shortlisting the nominees?
Okay, so but of course I'm not able to actually show to you guys on exactly on how it's being evaluated, but it was being mentioned in the nomination form that the nominees are required to actually list down their top achievements within the year 2023 only. Yes, correct. So we do understand that there are individuals out there who participated in more than 10 tournaments in a year. They who have for Cloud, for instance, he's not an athlete, but he's a commentator himself. So he has casted in more than 10 events in a year as well. But there's a reason why we did a limit to it. We put a limit of 10 submissions only. The reason is because we would not want the system to be abused in any way. Because for example, if we don't put a limit to it, an individual can cast 50 low-level events and able to accumulate a lot of points from doing so compared to a person who casts 10 quality level events.
Quality versus quantity.
Quality versus quantity.
Yeah.
We also want to make sure that there's a good balance between it as well. And 10 is a good number because for the year we will assume that these individuals who are athletes together with the commentators are able to actually do roughly around one event within a month or something. And also we need to understand that 10 is actually a very, very big number because for some circuits they run in 3 months. 3 months only one tournament. So and that's only, I believe I believe that I don't need to say this, but there are national level events out there which run for 3 months. In the span of 3 months, a normal team who's not a professional team could participate in 6-7 events already. If you accumulate points from that, it would overtake whatever points that you can get from that one national event itself. You can do it from district level. That would be unfair for the professional players. It'd be unfair for teams who compete in high-level tournaments. So that's why there's a limitation to it. And of course, when it comes to evaluation, we evaluate based on the prestige of the event, which is 6 different categories. So we start from district, state, national, regional, international, and world. And of course, we also evaluate based on their placements in the tournament. Just because you participate in a tournament does not mean that you made it to that level. So cukup makan je. So the placement also makes sense as well. So if you place first place in a national level event, surely you're being placed in a much higher level compared to a person who got second place on the same national event. So that's evaluated as well. But there's also terms and conditions behind it. Number one is we do not allow qualifiers to be calculated as well. Qualifiers don't count. Invitationals.
Grand finals only lah maksudnya.
I'm not saying grand finals. I would say qualifiers. They are qualifiers to certain.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course, the event must be completed as a whole. So you don't calculate your placement in group stage and then together play off. That's not fair. So it must be as a whole. Invitational events are also not counted unless they have a set level of criteria to qualify for the event. So there's a difference. So for example, I have an invitational event. I invite Cloud because he's famous, but not because of his performance in a recent tournament or something like that. Versus you, Lane, I invite you because you qualified through a certain method by competing in an open qualifier, closed qualifier, through group stage and more. Yeah. So some events are called invitational, but it's not really an invitational, I would say. Yeah, but some, I think you guys do know this, that there are some invitationals are based on popularity.
Yeah.
They really never outline, for example, why was Lin's team invited? Is that, don't know, maybe the Lin and the boss of the organizer have good connection and then they just invited. Yeah. So yeah, it must be outlined really nice. And game publisher events, to give respect to game publishers events are automatically ranked as a tier 1 event. So remember, there's a tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3 events. So of course, lower class events which has lower prize pools are placed as tier 3, mid-tier is tier 2, and then we have tier 1 events. Yeah, but from what we saw on the back end when we went through all these data when it comes to prize pool, usually game publisher events always break the tier 1 thresholds anyways, like they always be on the threshold, so there's no problem with that. But yes, they are tier 1 events. And Tamasha events like SEA Games and ASEAN Games, even though they are regional level events, but their points fall under international level events. Yeah, so it's a special case.
Okay, so Flava, so what is your personal future plans? What do you want to do?
Flavor apa lagi kau nak keluarkan?
Okay. Okay. Short term, mid term, long term. Let's go.
Short term. I'll be honest lah. I just had this thought just for the past 1 week that actually I needed a bit of rest because I've been overworking. I've been working too much. Of course, thinking about just not make money, want to put food on the table for my family, especially since I just had a newborn. Maybe he's 4 months, coming close to 5 months already. Yeah, but at the same time as well, I'm burning myself out. And my wife pun risau. She doesn't say it. She's also so worried. She knows that dah lah Isnin sampai Jumaat kerja, Sabtu Ahad kerja. Even my family is like, my family pun like my mom, cakap tak rehat ke, asyik kerja je. She's also it's not really a concern, but she also bila ada I wanna spend time with my family. I want one day I don't do anything. I watch TV with my baby boy, and then just spend time and all this. And I don't want to miss out on things, especially during this early stages as well. It hurts me on a personal level too, and dah lama juga tak pergi holiday, and all this. So I guess that's short term lah. And mid term and long term, of course, on working perspective is that from this free time, I hope that I'm able to refresh. Kadang-kadang when you work on so many things at the same time as well, you don't see a clear path towards things. So I do hope that free time, short term, will able to actually lead me to actually make good decisions on where I want to go in for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years in my life and all this.
So you already planned everything for another 5 years, 6 years?
No, not really. So, but I think I should. That's the thing. I mean, my answer to that is no. So that's why I think that having that break is very much needed. If I need 1 month break ke 2 month break, or however long I need lah. Yeah, but of course, I think all people out there who does have a baby and who does have a wife and kids and all this do know this, that you want to work for them, you want to do it for them. Yeah, but I think they also concerned about your well-being. Takut nanti you burn out and all this. I think I'm almost at the edge of it. I tak nak nanti fall and then fall sick and then not be able to recover from things that benda yang kita tak nak terjadi ke kita and all this lah.
How long more do you see yourself doing esports stuff?
I believe that I don't think I'm going to be doing this hosting thing for long, because I think by the time this will probably last me for the next 3, 4, 5 years max. By that time, I'm going to be like, there's bound to be newer people who would like to jump in, become a host or a caster. There's going to be new entries, new people coming in. So during that time, I need to think of something else. Still around the esports ecosystem. I would say that I'm not leaving. I'm still going to be in it, but definitely not as a talent, I would say. But probably I will be doing some educational stuff, like doing workshops, educating people on how to be part of the esports ecosystem in a healthy manner. And why I say in a healthy manner is because some people dive into esports not knowing what they're getting themselves into.
Blind.
I mean, it's not as simple as, seriously, I believe that Cloud, Lin, you guys are in the esports scene as well. It's not as simple as, tahu main game, you can join it. It's so fun. Main game. How can it be boring? You'll be surprised. There are times where you really don't want to see any games. There are times when, it's exhausting. And there's times where you do question, why are you even, doing this? Gaming used to be so enjoyable. But now, it became work. I do still find joy being part of the esports ecosystem, but not really from the playing part anymore. It's different things. I do see friends, so meeting people like Cloud and Lin for events brings me joy, able to actually have good conversations with them and all that. When it comes to the work part also, it's also enjoyable to work with people that you can click with. It's something very, very enjoyable as well. When it's a good show, it's also a very enjoyable thing as well. That's the thing. We never talk about the gaming part anymore. We talk about different things, different roles that we take inside of things. I'm still going to be in esports, just probably doing something else, I guess.
But what's your retirement plan? And I thought, when I say retirement, it's not the 2-3 years that you talk about. When I say that retirement is like in your 50s, in your 60s,
so mid 50s, so that's 30 years away. So,
getting close.
Not bad. I'm 40 years away, so.
For me, I do have a foot into some businesses which can give me passive income. I'm very grateful for it. Alhamdulillah. So to ensure that taklah one point tu I tak bekerja langsung and and not be able to have money in my pocket for me to spend on my family and all that. I'm so grateful that I do have passive income coming in with some really good partners. Inshallah in the future also I would love to actually share with everyone as well, and work something out long term. Even without my active presence there, I'm able to actually generate a little bit of money. And surprisingly, I'm not even thinking much about myself. I'm just like family, and just a little bit of nanti one day also I cannot work anymore. We have to remember that there's going to be a point in our lives where we cannot work anymore, and we have to rely on our savings, our EPF, SOXO, our ASB savings, or whatever it may be. And hopefully that will be sufficient for me to live a comfortable life together with my family, my wife and my kids. I think that's main objective in life now.
Kata-kata bapa-bapa tu.
Exactly.
You know what I picked up? He said kids with the S.
Oh no.
So
how many?
Please don't let my wife watch this.
He just said kids with the S.
I'm gonna clip this, send to her first before publishing this video.
That's the specific word.
But mainly family, because since everybody's busy also, I realize also belum ada kesempatan like spend good time with family, Once every 2 months is not enough for me anymore. I feel like I needed to see more family.
I totally agree on that. Aku pun selalu rasa tak cukup je cuma family.
I also don't want the family to feel macam alamak kita tak spend time with them. We keep them in our hearts. There's no such thing as but I also don't want them to feel in such ways. I work hard because I have something that I want to protect, like as how they protected me as a child, I want to protect my small family, which is my wife and kid.
I totally understand, because like we're pretty much in the same space kan. Kita like mostly do a lot of freelance work, project work and all that, and we just need to keep going. Kalau tak, then maybe there is a risk of like being left out. The FOMO feeling of it.
That's always been in like everyone's case.
Yes.
And the myth of people who think that like whenever I meet my saudara mara, oh, you're in gaming. Oh, I see you like in front of cameras and all that. You're doing very well. But the hardship behind it is the things that they don't see, and they thought like, oh, your life is all about just playing games and earning money.
How hard can it be?
The reality.
How hard is it?
How hard is it? Just buy a game and earn money, right? But like what he says, like the reality is that before I entered the esports where I was kerja corporate like normal kan, I had more time to play games than now.
I totally agree. I play less games being in esports.
We
even had
watch
to-
people play game.
Yes.
We don't play game anymore.
He even had to leave a ranked game to come and cast.
Oh yes, I did that recently. Yeah. For work lah. Yeah. But I did it as a favor.
We'll talk about that.
It's a favor or is it a flavor?
Yeah, it's a both thing.
But as a person who always been in the industry, what do you think is the future for Malaysian esports?
I think for the world, a lot of people do say that there's no future for esports and all this. It's gonna die one day. I highly disagree because I do see that esports would continue. It is just gonna go bigger because as technology advances, we do foresee that people are gonna be more and more reliant towards technology. So with access to technology, people are bound to just get themselves into gaming. Because right now even young kids are already into gaming, of course not competitively, just casually, but slowly in the future that's going to translate to it. We may not see the usual games in the next 20, 30 more years. It's just going to be replaced with different better games, that's all.
VR game.
VR, yeah, probably it will be. I believe that we're going to be living in an era of robots in the future and all this. That's where games like PCs and mobile is going to be forgotten, whereas we're going to be jumping into the world of VR and all those kind of stuff,
The best esport right now is Microsoft Excel esports. That's running right now. World Championship is right now.
Yes, and I'm a big fan of that. Yeah.
You're a big fan of that.
Yes, I'm a big fan of that.
Actually, the observer need to be fixed, but I like the game. I like the tournament. I like the
Observer is just that one screen, right?
Oh, you'll be surprised. Oh, I will show you later.
I mean,
on.
I've seen a little bit of it, but I didn't really like.
The
dwell with
observer,
it.
the scoreboard, they even have a live ranking, like how PUBG app have the live ranking.
oh.
Yeah, they have it, but it's like
Yeah.
quite delayed. It's a lot
But
of stuff.
still, right.
Yeah, they have observer.
Because they only show you the end game of what they want,
Yeah.
but how you reach there is up to you. So that's why it's like you have to make a lot of decision making. You need to know how to play around with the formulas, with all the functions. If you don't know and you messed up, you will not generate the right number and all this. And it must be functional. So that's why that is a very interesting. It's not really. It's esports. I
It's
think.
because it's on a computer. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
that's
it's because on a computer. Yeah, and I trust me and trust what Lin says. It's very interesting.
You can go watch it. And the per day live stream is like 6 hours, 7 hours. It's legitly the same timing as a normal casting tournament.
Yeah, but I don't blame them. It is time consuming for them to actually generate.
God.
It requires a lot of like you did coding,
Yeah.
but for them they're not doing coding, but they use functions.
Yeah.
Use formulas and all this. Yeah.
The relookup this and that. I mean, everything is so specific, but they even have like keystroke mapping, so we can know what they are typing, but it's on a delay because they are doing so fast.
Yeah, they do it so fast. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Imagine doing all of that without using a mouse. Nobody touches their mouse. Everything is keyboard.
Oh yeah, actually on Excel you
Excel.
can operate everything on
Because mouse slows
keyboard.
them down. Because they're jumping. Because they're only jumping between only a few cells.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
of course, they probably use a different tab just for something else. Yeah. Very interesting.
Okay, just as any of our closing statement for our podcast Tak Berlesen, right? So we always like to ask our guests, like, what is your advice would you give to the viewers out there who are watching? Your personal advice
So my personal.
of anything.
Of your specialty or whatnot.
See, I got bored with my usual advices I'm giving. The advice that I could give is that if you find yourself addicted or in need of help, or drown in gaming too much, you know it. You need to have this own self-realization. Seek help. You can seek anyone within the esports spectrum, and I believe that it will be more than happy to tend to your needs or inquiries, or show you the right path on how you can actually get proper help from that. Yeah.
That's actually quite important, like addiction for
Yeah.
gaming.
Because I went through that, yeah, and I believe that there's a lot of people out there who also need help. Don't worry, you're not the only one. Yeah.
Addiction of gacha. Oh no,
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, you cannot also deny that the technology is moving as well. So it cannot be a total cut off. Also, if not, then you'll be denied of the future juga.
I agree.
So again, in the great words of Ember Spirit,
I forgot already.
I forgot already.
balance in all things, guys.
You know, if you say that normal people would think of Thanos more than Ember Spirit.
That's the generation gap.
What is it?
That dagger thingy, right?
Yeah, the dagger thing.
Yeah.
I love how disappointed he is in us, by the way.
I thought I got a,
Hey.
I thought I got a final punchline.
That's the title of this video. Everything.
Do you know the actual quote
What's that, Chukot?
of Thanos?
No.
What
What's
is
the
it?
quote? Speak into the microphone.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, so it's different. Okay, it's different. It's different. I got it right. You can reference
Maksudnya
Dota,
sama
okay.
juga.
But anyway, thank you, Flava, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah.
This was an amazing episode. I hope that all our viewers out there would have learned something, and of course, us as well. We learned a good amount of your past.
Yeah.
I think that is a very
Maybe that part.
interesting part. Yeah, of course, but the past is where we normally don't talk about when we meet each other. Okay?
I agree.
Yeah, we always
Yeah.
talk about like the current or also the future stuff. But anyway, to all you guys out there, thank you so much for watching, juga. If you like this podcast, do let us know who were your next guest would you like to see, juga, in the comment section. Don't forget to share this out to one new person who has not seen this podcast before, because without you guys, we wouldn't be here, juga. And also, we would like to know from you guys out there, like, what do you think is the future for Malaysian Esports? Juga let us know in the comment section, okay? Boleh tinggalkan dalam bahasa Malaysia juga. Kita boleh baca, okay? Jangan risau.
Apa bahasa pun tak apa, ada Google Translate.
Betul. The world is modern. See, technology. Technology, right. And we see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
They make it awkward. Just we 5 seconds. Okay.